Well, I genuinely thought that the last video was going to be the last one in this house. As it turns out, though, I've got just enough time today to record one more video. So, with that in mind, let's get this season started. Season 2 of Chelsea starts right here today. How are we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 8 of Club 4 here on MyCareer on FM23. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we've got our first 2 Premier League games of the season against Huddersfield and Norwich. A nicer pair you couldn't hope to have to start the season. And if you're excited to see how we do this season, then do not forget to leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, not a lot's happened. I extended forward to this game. I think the only difference is transfer-wise, we've got the one transfer we're waiting for confirmed. Now, transfer-wise, doesn't actually look like we've done that much business, does it? 153 million, 64 million. Wow. First of all, I can confirm Luis Ferreira is in. He's nowhere near as good as I thought he was going to be. He's barely going to play. But that's not the real news. The real news is it says that 153 million, 64 million, that means less net spend than 100 million. Some of the transfers were last season. So the biggest ones being McKenna, Herolds and Bayrak. So that's 46.5, 77. I mean, that's what? 100, 160, 200, 200... Call it 210 million. So we've spent this season 370 probably. But then we also did have our bigger sale of Maximiano, well, not Maximiano, Garcia and Sabazlai. So that's what, 70 odd million. Call it 70. Call it 70. That's low ball. Call it 75 with Maximiano. So add 75 to that one. So we're looking at what, over 300 million and 130, something like that. It is what it is. We've spent money. Is the point. And also, if you missed it last time, we're now the England manager as well, because of course we are. But that's not what we're here for. Today we are here to look at the first game of the season against newly promoted Huddersfield. And this is the 11 we're going to be using. It is Dimitri in goal, James, Durica, Albergi and Boa in defence, Balaric, Mount, Herolds and Febre in the midfield with Skinner and Ratcliffe up front. I'm giving Skinner the chance at the start of the season to impress me. Now, we'll see what happens. We've got Pinamonti, obviously, who can come in and do the job as well. We are giving debuts to Herolds and Febre today and seeing how they get on. I've got Fakena, Bayrak, Declan Rice, Mackie, and Lewis Murray, even though he was there last season, on the bench. And then those are the players who are missing out. Again, we've got a good solid squad of 11 players. We've got a full bench, a full squad of 11 that can come in as well. So that's 22. Then we've got 3 reserve players making 25 players. So I'm quite happy with what we've got. Let's get into the game and let's see what we can do. Hopefully, we can get a win. That'd be splendid. But yeah, this season is all going to be about trying to do as well as we can in the league, obviously. But really, the aim has to be Champions League. We're back in the Champions League. Let's do as well as we can this season. Let's establish ourselves back in the competition. And then we're going to see whether we can win it, ideally, next season. Obviously, this season is probably going to be a bit too soon, but next season is going to be the one where we try to win it. I am giving myself that season. If we do not win it, I'm going to reevaluate, and we might decide to leave at that point because we don't really want to be hanging around. Again, the aim is to win the Champions League 2 more times with 2 more clubs. That is the aim, to make this save a complete success. And Durica's just given away a stupid penalty. I don't understand what Durica's thinking is there. He's here. He's cemented as one of our first choice central defenders. And he does something stupid like that, which just makes me want to just haul him off straight away. It's such a poor penalty to give away. And it gives Dimitri a real big headache here because he could concede a goal without really having anything to do with it. And he does. And Josh Sargent puts Huddersfield Town ahead. And I'm going to shout at Durica. What a ridiculous thing to do. He's got no reason to give a penalty there away whatsoever. And he's gone and done it. And I'm furious with him. And straight away, we're on the back foot against a newly promoted side. Yes, we're away from home. That's not the point. The point is we shouldn't be in this position. Heroldt doing really, really well there. Right. Now we get the passing going. Skinner gets onto the ball. He's gone out wide here. Looking to get the ball into the box. Goes out wide to Reece James. Whipping it in. Looking for Ratcliffe. And Carl Ratcliffe gets it in. First goal of the season. And he wasn't getting called up for the England squad. So you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be in my plans going forward. I mean, you've already seen a taster of what my England team is going to look like. We do need to talk about as well. We're not going to talk about it in this video. But what we're going to do in terms of videos for England's. There are going to be extra episodes, obviously. They're not going to be just taking up space of the Chelsea save. The Chelsea part of the save. But also we need to look at how successful England been. I'm not going to do that in this video. But rest assured, England have been very successful in this universe. So, you know, it's our job to try and make sure that continues. Right, Boa to Mount. Mount gets it to Derica. Derica out wide to Boa again. Herald now looking for Boa. What a lovely pass that is. Boa now trying to get it across. Doesn't do it. But Skinner is there. And Skinner, who we need a big season from, has gone and put us in front. It is 2-1 to Chelsea. And after an early setback with a stupid penalty given away by Derica, Derica's actually involved in the move. That puts us ahead. And Herald with a lovely little pass here to Boa. Boa's pass is intercepted, but it still counts as an assist, and Skinner is there to head it in. 2 headed goals, by the way. And our strikers leading the line here today very, very well. 2-1. Happy, happy days. Let's go get a third, shall we? That would make me very happy. Right, here come Huddersfield on the ball. Radoni now. Big ball out, looking for Espinar. Finds him. Boa did come very far forward, but actually he's intercepted well there. Mount now. Lovely passing into Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe desperately unlucky not to make it 3 there. Very good opportunity there, but we do not take it. But we are absolutely dominating them, and it's lovely to see. Only the 2 goals, though. I would like a third. February having a good game. Everyone having at least a decent game, which is nice to see. But it looks like half-time. It is only going to be 2-1. I would have preferred a third, but I will take what we can get. We'll say that one. Derica, I mean, I want to say something to him, but actually he's had a good game since. I'm just going to tell the guys on the 6.7 just that they can do a bit better. And I'm also going to say that to Herald and February. They're not doing badly, but I think they can do better. So let's demand a bit more from the boys. Let's go get a third. Let's just shore things up a bit more by giving ourselves a bit of a gap. That'd be lovely. If that's okay. I don't know whether it is, but we'll find out. I mean, we're having more chances, which is a good thing to see. I'd love a highlight. I'd love a highlight which ends with us scoring a goal. Right, Holden for them, kicking it out. Radoni heads it down to Bates. Bates now, looking for Radoni. I don't think he's going to find anyone. James on the ball. But he goes for a cross that would only work if we've got a winger playing it. It doesn't really work. But Albergi does really well there to intercept Skinner now. Heavy touch, gives the ball away. Not ideal from him. But Boa and Herald working really well together to get the ball back. Ball out to Ratcliffe now. Ratcliffe looking for Mason Mount. Actually ends up going to James. James now. Big ball to Hector February. Looking for his first goal for the club. Doesn't quite get there. But that was lovely play from us. We are a bit sloppy in possession. That is a trait that we have as a squad, and it is really frustrating. So I think ball retention and ball distribution are things we really need to work on this season. I mean, I worked on them last season. So it's not something that's isolated to this season necessarily, but we were trying to resolve it last season. It just doesn't seem to have worked that well. I mean, I think our passing is quite good, but we do seem to be sloppy every now and then. I have actually, and I don't know whether it will affect anything this season, I've adjusted the team's width. Herald does really well there, actually. And Ratcliffe on the ball here. And Ratcliffe makes it 3. And Hector February has an assist. I don't know whether it will make any difference, but I've actually set our width to be a touch wider. We were narrow before. Now we're just fairly wide. We're not playing with wingers, so it makes sense to do that in my eyes. And actually, it seems to have done something today. I mean, we're looking like we're going to win the game at the moment. I mean, other than the penalty, we've dominated this game. Lovely ball over the top for February, by the way. And Ratcliffe just powers it past the keeper, making it 3-1. Happy days indeed. And I think it's about substitute o'clock. So let's have a look at resting 1 or 2 players. Mount and Herald looking like they're knackered from the work they've been putting in. So I think we're going to bring on Murray. And we're going to bring on Tapia. I think that makes sense. I think we'll rest Balarik in the last 10 minutes. We'll bring on Declan Rice for his debut. But we'll leave it at that for now. Going and making an impact, boys. That would be lovely. Lewis Murray coming on. I'm stunned that I've signed Lewis Murray on a permanent deal. I don't think I would have foreseen a universe where that seemed like a good idea, but I stand by it. I think it's a great idea. Right, Declan Rice comes on for his debut, and I think we'll also bring on... I want to take Ratcliffe off, but I think we'll take Skinner off because Ratcliffe's on a hat-trick. Pinamonti will come on, and then I'm going to bring Mackie on as well for his debut. Let's see whether he can get something going. Of course, February doing very well, getting an assist in this game. Be nice to see what he can do. Right, Boa with the throw. Gets it to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe out wide. Not going to get a goal from there. Boa looking, nearly giving the ball away. Manages to retain possession. Declan Rice now. Over to Albergi. Declan Rice is our... I don't think he's our vice-captain, but he's like our third-choice captain. And Mackie has actually gone, Nathan Mackie, and scored on his debut. Goodness me. And it is 4-1, and I'm very happy now. My word, look at that. And it was Albergi with the assist. So Declan Rice, who's like our third or fourth choice captain with the players we've got on the pitch. Reece James no longer one of our captains. Albergi with a big ball over the top. And it's just completely messed up by the defence. One of our players runs complete, utter, like, distraction over here. And Mackie just gets lucky and gets in the right place at the right time. Puts it in the back of the net. 4-1. Gets a debut goal. Happy days. Right, let's get a fifth, shall we? Rice to Tapia. Tapia looking for Pinamonti. Pinamonti, just if he had a yard of pace more, maybe could have got on the end of that. But here come Huddersfield. But it's a big ball over the top for no one. Declan Rice heads the ball down to Albergi. Albergi over to Tapia now. Ratcliffe looking to get something going. But actually, it's really nice tackling from Huddersfield. Bowie now, not that one. Getting into the box, looking to cross it in. Leonard is there. And Dimitri with a really nice save, stopping them from getting another goal back. It is a corner. Remember that, like, I think at the start they did have a bit of chaos from a corner. The last friendly we had, actually, I played it against Crystal Palace and they scored from a set piece. And I think set pieces might be a bit of an issue, but we have trained them since then and we have set our set pieces up as well as we can. And we do actually end up with the throw there with very little time remaining. I mean, the win isn't out of the question so far. We are going to win this game. We don't need to worry about that, but just how many by. But we've ended up being pretty comfortable in that game away from home. And it's nice to see Ratcliffe with a great performance. Boa stealing the show as well. Skinner getting a goal as well, which makes me happy. No bad performances out there at all. I'm very happy with that. 4-1 against newly promoted Huddersfield. Huddersfield, of course, going to have that promotion bounce, but we managed to bounce them back down and get a win. That'll do. Right, next game, Norwich City. Norwich, who, were they in the Premier League or did they get promoted? I cannot remember what they did last season. They were here last season. They were just about survived, so we should really be battering them. So fingers crossed we can do that. So he's apparently a very good halfback now, Balajic, which is nice to see. But very nice to see Ratcliffe continuing the vein of form. Bearing in mind, again, he's finishing his like 12. We need to have a word with him about his development, actually. But bearing in mind that his finishing his 12, it's really, really nice to see. His training has been awful. Okay, that could have gone really badly, but it didn't. But bearing in mind he's finishing his 12, he's actually done really well goal-scoring-wise for us. He scored 2 in that game, 19 in 36 last season, 33 of those were starts. He got 8 assists as well. He had a really good year for us. How he's not got more England caps than that, I do not know. Don't you worry, though. That will be changing. Right, next game, Norwich in 7 days. Let's see if we can make it 2 from 2. Back for the game against Norwich, and it's pretty much the same 11. We made a couple of changes just to freshen things up and give a couple of players a bit of a chance in the first team. It's Dimitri in goal. Ed Milson's going to start at right back with Derica and Bayrak in defence alongside Boa. Balajic, Mount, Heroldt and February make up the usual midfield with Skinner and Ratcliffe back up front. So we're giving Ed Milson a chance and we're giving Bayrak a debut today. And I think that'll be fine. So let's just get into the game and let's see what happens. As things stand, currently top of the league. 1 game in, but it still counts. So let's see if we can make that our own. Remember, we were first or second for a good chunk of last season. It was only the last couple of games where it really fell apart for us. I mean, a little bit before that, because a lot of the teams around us had games in hand, and that's really where we got stuffed, because they had these games in hand and then we just had a horrible run. So it kind of snuck up on us that we might miss out on Champions League football. We didn't in the end, and my word, how on earth has Skinner missed there? Bayrak's so close not to put the ball in the back of the net. But somehow, Alan Skinner has gone and missed a sitter. I don't really understand it. Right, free kick. I think it's going to be Ratcliffe over it. Going to try and put this top bins. I'd love it if he did. It would be amazing. He's very close to it, though. And remember, Maximiano, I don't know how much the game may take these things into account. Former player of ours, former goalkeeper, of course. He was our reserve goalkeeper last season. So, it'd be interesting to see if he knows a thing or two about our players. Ratcliffe's in here, though. And Maximiano couldn't stop that. And it's Alan Skinner to Carl Ratcliffe. So, even though Ratcliffe is there to provide the assists, similar to how Pinamonti did, Skinner has provided Ratcliffe with a golden opportunity, and it is 1-0 in the 14th minute. Lovely work here by Heroldt. Gets the ball down, quickly moves it on to Mason Mount, and Mount just pings the pass over to Skinner perfectly, who heads it down over to Ratcliffe. They have got February there just to support them, but they don't need him, and Carl Ratcliffe gets the job done, and it is 1-0. And that's enough so far to put us second. It looks like Liverpool have actually played a third game where we are only playing our second here. They are on 7 points. As it's mathematically impossible to get 7 points from 2 games, I'm going to assume they've played a third or are playing a third. And Milson does really well there, actually. And again, Edmilson, in my head, is going to be our right back of the future once Reece James leaves. He might be leaving at the end of the season because both he, as you guys I'm pretty sure know, Skinner is so unlucky there. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that Mount and Reece James are considering their options at the end of their contract, which is at the end of this season. So we will be giving them the option to do what they want to do. If they want to leave at the end of the season, that's absolutely fine. I think they've earned that with their history at the club. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to hang on to at least one of them, possibly Mason Mount, because he's just a good option to have in the midfield. Reece James, though, very, very flexible in terms of what he can do. Very, very good as a defensive midfielder. We've just never really utilised him. Skinner, great opportunity there, but again, offside. He's not having a great game, Skinner, even though he's got that assist. As a striker, as a goal scorer, not doing that well. Bayrak with a good header down to Edmilson. Balarik now picking things up. Balarik, by the way, I don't know if I told you guys, is our vice-captain now. He's just got better stats for it than, to be fair, than Mason Mount and Reece James. So Mason Mount has remained our captain, but now it is Balarik who will take up the armband if he's not there. And then I think it's Declan Rice after that, because Declan Rice has got incredible leadership attributes. We're doing well, but I'd like us to score a few more goals. I'm going to tell Skinner he's not played well, even though he actually technically has, because he's been very wasteful out there. And I'm going to tell those guys that they've not played that well, just to try and G them up. But let's get into the second half. Let's demand more from the boys. Let's try and get a second, because we're playing very, very well. We've dominated them. But so far, we can only put the ball in the back of the net once. Mount with a free kick, looking for the head of Skinner. And there is Alan Skinner with a goal. His second of the season. Did he only score one last time out? Yeah, he did. It was Ratcliffe who scored 2, wasn't it? Forgot what happened in the last game then. That literally only happened about 10 minutes ago. Right, Skinner scores from a Mount free kick, and that is lovely to see. Maximiano cannot keep Skinner out there. To be fair, Skinner didn't play that much. Maximiano didn't play that much. Chances are they don't know how the other plays each. So it was a battle of who was the better player there, and Skinner's going to win that 10 times out of 10. Right, Mount into Harrell. Ball's going to get a bit tripped up there, didn't know, and we managed to keep it moving. Mount gets back to Dorico. We're keeping the ball quite well here, but I am a bit worried that we are just going to give it away. Right, Mount, looking for options, but again, retains possession really well. We've worked on ball retention this week. It's showing, and immediately we give it away as soon as I say that, because of course it does when I open my mouth. But we get the ball back, actually. Dorico now, who I have forgiven for his terrible penalty giving away last time out, because, you know, ended up suffering from it. Edmilson just goes for a worldie. I'd rather he didn't do that. I'd rather he passed the ball. Still 2-0. I think we can get another, and I'll be disappointed if we don't. But we are getting into substitute o'clock. February not having the best game so far, so I think we will bring him off. And, I mean, Mackie had a great game last time. He scored that early goal. Let's give him a chance. Maybe he's the player that we need in this team. We'll make that one change for now, and then we'll make the other changes a bit closer to the end of the game, because I don't see a reason to fully change the system. But I would like to think we could win this game through more than this. But it's early season. We've still got new players in the team. Benefit of the doubt. Let's bear all of that in mind. I'm going to keep Balarik on the... In fact, no, we will bring Declan Rice on. I was going to keep Balarik on the pitch, but we'll give him a rest. I'm also going to bring on... You know what? No, I'm not. I was going to bring on Antonio Silva, Ian on the bench. So I'm going to bring Albergi on instead, because he's the only option. And I think we'll bring Fakena on. Yeah, we'll bring Fakena on. Why not? And then we'll save that last substitution for the last change in between 80 and 90 minutes. Let's just see if we can get the ball and get another goal, shall we? Because I think we are more than good enough value for it if we can. Right, Bayrak now, who's had a, touch wood, solid game so far today. Right, Mackie in with the ball at his feet. He's gone for a shot, put it wide. I mean, straight away shoot less often, because you're going to shoot. Make sure you're going to get it on target at the very least. Right, Skinner now on the ball from the throw-in. Looking for options. Cuts inside, loses the ball, but loses it to Herol. But now Norwich have the ball again and trying to come forward. Evgen with the ball running out wide. I mean, we're not really doing that good a job of getting the ball off of them, which is a bit concerning. Mackie immediately just does it, though. And I think Mackie might be getting ahead of, I forgot his name, February, in the order. And again, Skinner just wastes an opportunity. And that is a concern, because although he has scored today, wasting a lot of chances, and that disappoints me a bit. Pinamonti is going to come on. because I'm a little bit annoyed at that, because he's had so many chances, golden opportunities. He could have had a hat-trick today, and yet his finishing is higher than Ratcliffe's, and Ratcliffe's is more lethal. Make of that what you are. Right, Mackie out wide to Edmilson. Edmilson cuts back in, but goes to Pinamonti instead. Pinamonti now, the assist machine from last season, back to Edmilson, whips it in, looking for Ratcliffe. Still Ratcliffe, and somehow doesn't get another goal, and somehow we still don't beat Maximiano again. Fair play to Maximiano. He's done a decent job today. But we've been quite wasteful in opportunities. We've had nearly 30 shots. We really should have done better than that. However, we won. And that is the main thing, if I'm being completely honest. But Alan Skinner, I've got to be honest, I'd like to put something to say. You were very, very wasteful, and that's not on there, which is a bit frustrating. So I'll leave things as they are. But the main thing is we do get 2 wins from 2. And to Skinner's credit, I'm having a go at him. He scored 2 games in a row. I feel like I'm being a bit harsh. Liverpool did actually play an extra game, so that's why they're currently top. But we actually are level on goal difference with them. So make of that what you will. But that, I think, is a very successful first couple of games of the season. So very, very happy with that. Ratcliffe again with a stellar performance. How Mourinho wasn't picking this guy, I do not know. I mean, if we have a look at his form, I mean, look at that. Look at how good he's been. 2 games where he's not scored, and they were both friendlies, and he didn't start one of those games. I mean, going back to the end of last season as well, what a run of goals and assists as well. I mean, that game against Villa, he was sensational. In pre-season, he's been pretty good as well. How Mourinho justified not picking him, I do not know. But that is going to do it for today's video. We are going to quickly double check and see when we're going to come back. And I've just dropped things off the table because, of course, I have. I want us to come back for the Champions League. I know it will come back around September, but we won't come back for a game in September because that is quite early. So we'll come back around October. We also will come back whenever England play. I don't know when they will, but usually it's around this period here. So, assuming that does happen, I will come back for the first couple of England games, just because it would be rude not to. I mean, we can just double check that, really. It's going to be on here, under schedule. It's going to be the 2nd of September and 5th of September. So, we'll come back for Romania and Austria. We will play both of those games. And they will be in a separate video with different thumbnails. So, it will be kind of like a mini-series alongside this one. So, we will do that. But there's confirmation. I didn't actually tell you guys, by the way, England did win the Euros. I mean, let's look at it now. I said we were going to look at it when we look at England, but we'll look at it now. Let's have a look at England's history and competitions. So, in terms of World Cups, they've won it twice since this saver started. The 2022 World Cup and the 2026 World Cup. European Championships, twice. The one just gone, and 2024. They were runners-up in 2021 as well. Absolutely bossing it, and have also won the Nations League a couple of times, 2025, 2027. So we are, by all accounts, bossing it. I mean, our under-21s and under-20s have won their World Cups as well. European Championships at under-19 level, we've won a few of those too. We are a heck of a team at all levels, apparently. So we've got a bit of a reputation to live up to. But that's going to be it for today's video. Premier League table, as it stands, looks as such. It is nice reading, I'm not going to lie. We are currently second, but only because Liverpool have played a game more. Manchester United, the champions from last season, currently all the way down in 6th. They've not had a good start at all. Southampton actually not doing too badly. Their new manager is Vincenzo Italiano. I'm going to guess he's Italian. Yes, he is. It says it under his name, Stu, and in his name as well. Captain's Orlando, vice-captain Shelderup. What a sensational pairing that is. But yeah, all going well so far. Ratcliffe is the best player in the league. He's the 3rd top goal scorer. And we got a clean sheet in the last game. So what more is there to be happy with? So I will see you next time for some Champions League action. But before then, more than likely, some England duty as well. Can't wait. Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video for me. And do not forget to subscribe. Completely free to do so. And you'll make me a very happy chappy. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.